last we saw Mido, he was wearing this blanket over him, pacing around the house like Severus Snape. There will be no foolish wand waving or silly incantations in this class. This was all because he had a fight with Debbie, and her friends instantly saw his true horrible colors. So now I thought he was going to be playing the victim after this. Instead of apologizing for being horrible, he was gonna wrap himself up in a blanket and cry to the cameras that somehow everything was Debbie's fault. But we haven't had an update since. It's now been a few episodes since we last saw him or Debbie. All of us are of course hoping Debbie doesn't marry Mido. I was starting to think maybe he wasn't going to be on the show anymore. Maybe the whole thing was over. There have been plenty of random articles claiming this. So if you don't want the answer to that question quite yet, I know the season is still going, I recommend skipping the rest of this video. I will see you in the next one on Thursday. Because the internet sleuths have in fact found out what is happening with Mido and Debbie. So leave now if you don't want to know. Okay, great. You're still here. So last we saw Mido, he kept saying that he was going to get a flight back to Egypt. But I had this suspicion that he can't get a ticket without Debbie helping him financially with it. He's not the rich movie star he wants us to think he is. To me, there was a good chance that he wouldn't leave during their 90 days unless Debbie got him a ticket, left him at the airport. The responsibility would be put on her. And that made me worry. Because yes, Debbie has pushed back and stood her ground, but also she hasn't jumped at sending Mido back when her friends told her she should. I also think that her paying for the ticket would be expensive, so she won't do that unless she really is desperate to get him out. I don't know how she wouldn't be at that level yet, but she's not. Because she is defending him online still.
To move across the world for something as frivolous as a career and movies. I don't believe for 1 second that that is the only reason why Mido is in this country. Not for 1 second do I believe that.
And that is not a good sign at all. The hopes weren't really high that they were gonna break up, but then someone found a marriage license for Debbie and Mido. Yeah, that means Mido is still in the US. Unless something really crazy happened between now and November, he's here. And that makes me mad, especially since we've seen this guy be horrible on camera, express that his priority is to be famous. He doesn't deserve to marry Debbie. Ugh. I was really hoping they didn't have Mido and Debbie on for a few episodes because they were building up to the breakup and adding a new couple to replace them on the show. I was wrong. This also means that if they're trying to set up a scene where Debbie kicks him out, sends him to the airport, it's very dramatic, it won't be real. You know, like that scene from George and Anfisa's season where she keys his car.
What the Oh, Anfisa keyed my car.
So he says he's going to drop her off at the airport. She has like a bag she carries out, just one bag, and they drive away like he's going to go drop her off, but then they don't break up.
I tried to get the ticket and it didn't work out.
Something that is so frustrating about this is that there have been many people on this show that have had to fight very hard to be together. One of those couples being Kenny and Armando. Kenny moved to Mexico to be with Armando and his daughter. They got married, and then they tried to get visas for both Armando and Hannah to come to the US.
Turns out that on the x-rays there was like scarring of my lungs, and so luckily a few months later I got a clean bill of health that I had no TB, and we were able to reschedule my interview appointment.
And on 90 Day Diaries, they find out that Armando was denied for a second time.
Denied.
Seriously?
Further investigate. They'll let me know, I guess, online. They don't know when, but they have to, I don't know, look more into our marriage and verify more things, but right now I'm denied.
Obviously, it's not the exact same situation, but still, Armando, who's been with Kenny for years, they've been living together, they have a real relationship, Armando gets denied. Mido is the one who gets rewarded. Explain this to me. They don't know why he was denied yet. Kenny and Armando do have a large age gap. Armando even mentions that that might be a reason he got denied. I actually forgot that they have such a big age gap, but yes, Kenny is in his lower 60s and Armando is in his upper 30s. So they don't have an answer for what happened. They're still trying to get Armando's visa.
The visa will come someday.
Hopefully this happens before I'm too old and you have to push me across the border in a wheelchair.
It's really annoying me that Mido, who doesn't even pretend like he likes Debbie. We've never even seen him look happy to be with her. He treats her terribly, is scary with how he looks at her when he's mad. He's the one that wasn't denied. And I'm wondering how this went down. Did he guilt Debbie into marrying him?
I don't believe he's some scammer with an angle. I know him. All of these things that you guys think that he is, I don't. I don't believe it for a second. And I think that eventually, as our story unfolds, you guys are going to see a different part of him and who he really is.
Playing the victim worked, maybe? And oh my God, that wedding, can you imagine? I'm getting flashbacks of Danielle and Muhammad, except I'm guessing Debbie's friends and family don't go see them get married. It's probably at the courthouse, quick. And what? Debbie's gonna move to Hollywood? This is just dumb. My guess is him playing the victim had to work somehow. And now I'm wondering, what happens if you just drop someone off at the airport during your 90 days? Like Debbie should have done. I mean, Astra would have done it for her. Maybe the person can't afford a ticket back and the 90 days are up. Honestly, that was my dream scenario for Mido. Debbie just drops him off at the airport. His Hollywood dream is over. He's all wrapped up in a blanket, waiting for the airplane. I actually looked this up because I was curious. If someone can't afford a flight home after the 90 days, there are situations where their embassy might be able to help get them back. Noted, if Debbie tries to say Mido had no way to pay for a flight back, so she just had to marry him, that's not true.
I don't believe he's some scammer with an angle. I know him.
So Mido wants to be famous. This was his shot. He pulled something to get this to work in his favor, right? And it did. It worked. So I'm curious to see how this plays out on the season. Are you surprised by this? I was and I wasn't. We've seen this so many times before. She wasn't giving us a ton of hope that she wasn't gonna marry him. Man. Now this is going to be Danielle and Muhammad all over again.
After I saw him in Miami, he disappeared. I've been trying to track him down for a while, and I finally found him. He's gonna have a visitor soon, and I'm finally gonna get some payback.
We'll see them on multiple seasons. Debbie will yell that he used her. Let me know what you think about this. I really hoped Debbie was going to prove us all wrong. No, instead it looks like she married him. And now I just want to see how this all falls apart on this season. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!